Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Plan B Success, Episode 6. Today, we will focus on learning as the topic of this episode. What is learning all about? What is there to learn? How much is there to learn? How long to learn? And what do you do with all the learning that you have acquired over a period of time? That's what we're going to discuss today. There was a time when, in quest of knowledge, you had to get to different places in order to obtain that knowledge, either a library or a university, or get together with a set of friends and discuss topics. These were the ways you could acquire knowledge. Read a book, for instance. But now we live in an age and a time where it's knowledge galore all around you all the time. No matter where you turn, you're inundated with an influx of so much knowledge that you drown in it. You've got the internet, you've got your mobile phones in hand, you've got your tablets, you turn around, you turn on the TV, everywhere, social media, everywhere. There's so much of knowledge just being poured onto you. So it becomes important to either take in everything and get drowned in it, or choose what you really want and focus on obtaining that aspect of knowledge, but still you're inundated with this knowledge. You turn on the TV, there's several channels, there's several apps, there's YouTube, these podcasts that you're listening to, the radio, so many ways of getting this knowledge just dumping on you. And that's why it becomes important that you make the choice of what you're going to learn and what you're going to just avoid. First thing, it's important to figure out what do you want to learn and how do you want to learn it. That's a choice that you have to make in order to sift through all the media, all the platforms that are available out there, and focus on just what makes most sense for you, what you're comfortable with, in order to obtain that knowledge. Next, when you look at learning, as the old adage goes, be a lifelong learner. That's what has always been said, and I think it's the truest in today's terms than ever before. You have to be a lifelong learner because there's so much of change happening so rapidly, whether it's the actual domains, whether it's the functionalities, whether it's the technology that is driving it, but there's so much happening so rapidly that it's important for you to keep on top of it. And when I say keep on top of it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get into the depth of everything that you're trying to learn, but keep on top of what's going on out there so that you can pick and choose how much deep you want to go on different topics. Everywhere you turn, there's a lot of emphasis on learning, and in today's time, like I said, being a lifelong learner is not a choice. It's mandatory. You have to be a lifelong learner in order to move ahead and succeed in your life. Now, learning is most definitely a very vital skill because it does a few things for you. One thing is it allows you to acquire the knowledge. Second thing is it also helps you validate that you're actually living and growing. If you learn, obviously you're living, but you're also growing, and you're growing as a result of that growth, you're also living. So learning is one aspect of seeing you grow in life, improve yourself, improve your environment, improve the life of your own as well as your dependents, and move from point A to point B in life. That's what learning does for you, and that's what it's supposed to validate for you. Now, the quest for knowledge keeps ignited in all of us all the time, no matter your age. A spirit of curiosity, a spirit of yearning and seeking to understand more of the things around us is there in anybody and everybody, no matter what your knowledge is. Of course, you might be grasping things at a different level. You might be grasping things based on your age and your curiosity levels and what you're trying to learn, but there's a ton of information, a ton of data, a ton of knowledge surrounding us that we can choose from and learn. With all due respect to the power and importance of learning in one's life, it's also important that whatever we learn, we find some use for it. We know where to apply it, and we validate what we have learned on the one end, but we also look at how do we benefit from what we have learned. Just learning in itself is not an end. We do have to look at what have we learned, and how do we use it? How do we apply it? How is it benefiting those around us? And how is it benefiting us? That's what we will have to look at as we continue to learn. If you just keep on taking in knowledge, it doesn't stay with you as well. You could learn something today, but if you don't exercise an option to use it or execute that knowledge, and you just let it be for a period of time, what generally happens is it becomes dormant. Or in some cases, you actually lose the learning that you had acquired. So that's why it's important to choose what you want to learn and then to keep on top of it in order to be able to execute on it so that you validate it for yourself and then you gain the experience of actually having used the learning that you have acquired. Now, if you haven't managed to learn how to apply and benefit from what you have learned, or how to impart it to others so that you can share that knowledge so that they may benefit from it, what's the use of all the learning that you're going through? You see, learning is a lifelong exercise, like we talked about, and for good reason, since there's so much to learn that an entire lifetime is just not enough. But more important is the application of what you have learned. Else, knowledge is perishable. You learn something today, you could forget it down the line in a couple of months, or you would have to go back and refresh and revisit and refresh on it. If you don't apply what you have learned or impart it to others or share it with others, what you know, so that they also learn from you. And in fact, when you share something with others, one is it reiterates your knowledge for your own benefit. The second thing is it allows you to become an expert at the knowledge because you're imparting it to somebody else. It allows you to have a command of that knowledge, look at it in a more deeper sense, become an expert at what you are learning. At the same time, become an expert at not just learning it, but being able to impart it and exercise that knowledge that you have learned as well. Now, if you don't use the knowledge or if you don't impart it and you just keep on accumulating knowledge, thinking that you have this huge repository of knowledge, it's of no use because you're bound to forget what you have learned, or your knowledge could even weaken. Plus, you don't develop the confidence of being the acquirer of that knowledge, of being an expert at it, because you have neither applied it nor have you shared it with anyone else. Now, with application of this knowledge comes depth. When you use the knowledge or when you share it with others, you tend to get more curious, you tend to dig deeper into it, you become an expert at it because you're looking at applying it. And then you try to tweak it and figure out how to apply that knowledge that you have gained to the benefit of those around you and to your benefit until you become comfortable. As a result of that, there's depth that you learn as a result of the application of knowledge. You get a better understanding of what you have learned. And perhaps this further exploration, this further depth research that you do will help you better command your knowledge, will help you become an expert at the knowledge that you have sought. And this cycle continues wherever you are. You're able to apply this knowledge with much success because you learn, you validate it, you share it, you test it, and then that's how you become an expert. Successful application of this knowledge that you're gaining is the end goal of the entire learning process and this whole process of knowledge acquisition. This is the end goal where all of the knowledge that you try to obtain reaches its optimal end result, which is for you to share it, to apply it, to grow and evolve not just the knowledge, but you evolve as a person, as a better human being, as an expert at whatever you are learning. So hence, it's very important that you learn what you seek, but better yet, learn how to apply and share that knowledge to the benefit of others around you, as well as you. You need to benefit from the knowledge that you have sought, because until you benefit from the knowledge that you have sought, it hasn't reached its culmination point. Just being a storage house or a repository of knowledge doesn't help anyone. Look to exercise it for your own benefit, for the benefit of others around you. At the same time, look to share, and that's how you evolve as a human being, as an intelligent human being, and you will see the change in yourself with all the knowledge that you've acquired and all the knowledge that you have applied and shared. If you like what you hear, please be sure to subscribe. And if any of this information helps you, please make sure that you share it with others so they might benefit as well. If you'd like to know more about me, please visit www.rajeevmudumba.com. And for more episodes like this, please make sure you visit Plan B Success. Thank you.